Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Koh Bon Wan, Mr. Chan Yang, Mr. Wong Wei, and distinguished friends. My name is Luhut Pandjaitan. I was Coordinating Minister, Maritime Affairs and Investment, Republic of Indonesia, and today I'm Chairman of National Economic Council of Republic of Indonesia. Thank you very much for the invitation by Straits Times. I would like to share, this is the title that we are preparing, Indonesia Economic Prospects and Challenges, a Smooth Transition. This is, I think, very important, the last word, the smooth transition, because it's not easy, but I should say the transition so far so good, and we look at also the previous President Joko Widodo and President Prabowo still maintain their very good relation. They still have a good communication, which is, I think, very important for the developing countries like Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at my first slide, we are facing a stable but underwhelming world economic growth. Please, my slide, please. Look at this slide number. You see the US and China, others, and also India. So Indonesia is still in a good shape, I should say, because we are able to maintain our economic growth around 5%, and we are pretty confident that we can go higher in the near future if we are able to meet some things that considered as a problem within our country. If you look at also the global risk landscape, will be shaped by various short and medium-term challenges. Look at this one, here in the escalating war in the Middle East. We don't know when it's going to end this war, and also economic growth in Europe, and also economic slowdown, stimulus package in China. We understand they provide maybe $3.4 trillion for the stimulus package, and also increase tension South and Korea and China, Taiwan. This kind of the global risk landscape that we should consider and should look at this one. In the same time, digital disruption and in artificial intelligence, climate change, transition to carbon economy, geopolitical fragmentation, and economic competition. But just look at the president election in US. Many people didn't expect going to be like that, I think, but I think that end up with a very good situation. And I remember like a few weeks ago, they said too close to call. But what happened 2 days, 3 days ago, we understand the situation there. So what impact of second Trump presidency? Increased uncertainty in the global financial market. If you look at this data slide here, see, you look at dollar stronger. This is good and bad for Indonesia. But I think we can mitigate this situation. I'll show you later on with my slide. Dollar strengthened despite FFR cut due to rising government and yields, anticipation of a largest fiscal deficit under Trump presidency. But to be honest, personally, I love very much when he announced he's not going to do any war during his term. Meaning, that's my reading, hopefully I'm right, they're going to concentrate maybe a little bit domestically. And Chinese government provides huge stimulus, I mentioned earlier, to boost the economy. If you look at this data here, stimulus in trillion, it's like 3.4 trillion US dollars. There's something also good for, if I should say, like Indonesia, because our exports can, boost also to China. If something happened with the China economy, also could impact Indonesian economy. So this is, I think, a good signal for us. And if you look at also the China growth, now China trade surplus is expected to increase before Trump's tariff escalation. This is, I think, very much to watch. This because the tariff escalation of Trump, he already announced. But my personal view again, President Trump is, I should say, maybe accommodative and pragmatic person. He look at, I think we remember when the trade deficit with China, $450 billion US dollars, 3 years ago, now around 350 billion US dollars, so decrease like over 100 billion US dollar. Now, despite various challenges, Indonesian economy is expected to continue to grow strongly. If you look at this data here, we still maintain here. But if you bring efficiency to Indonesia, improve the ICOR, this number can go up easily, I should say. I'll show you later on a slide about Indonesia. Indonesia is among least vulnerable countries in the world. If you look at this one, low inflation, and also budget deficit. Indonesia, the debt of government and government debt also only 38%, yeah, 38% compared to some other countries. If you look at this slide here, so we are doing pretty good, and inflation also we are able to manage this still below 3%. And this is, I think, a good indication about Indonesia. But we still have problem with ICOR. Our ICOR still very high, inefficiency like 30% to 35%. This is equivalent to 70 billion US dollar inefficiency within the country. Now, room for fiscal and monetary policy to support growth. You look at this one, it's a lot. So we don't have problem to finance any President Prabowo priority program. If you look at this data, so target deficit is 2.3% to GDP, and we are still below that, I think around 1.7%. Now, this is, I think, the commitment from the President to reform. Next slide. This number one, natural resources, key for the prosperity of people of Indonesia. So downstreaming, not only downstreaming, but we like to build the ecosystem within any mineral that we have. Right now, ongoing, I should say we are very happy and very successful on this. And before, we were always facing a current account deficit. Today, we don't have problem with that anymore. If you look at also the currency of Indonesia, quite stable, and reducing inefficiency in the economy, that high ICOR and low fiscal multiplier. This is, I think, the issue that we have to tackle. That's the issue that we have to tackle. How do we do it? I'll show you later on. Also, eradicating corruption and online gambling. Online gambling is the issue. Our prediction like $65 billion US dollars, because any stimulus that we give to the unfortunate family, cash transfer, maybe like 80% immediately to the gambling. If we are able to tackle this one, you can imagine the 65 billion US dollars, like half of this, that's already 30 billion US dollars, equivalent maybe to 3% growth. You cannot immediately transfer this to the 3% growth, but I think the potential we can see there. Strengthening the rule of law, there's also the President stated very clear in in Bogor 3 days ago. Now, Indonesia will continue to implement fiscal discipline while increasing productivity spending. This is, I think, very important. This is the President program, priority. This is accommodated already in the budget 2025. Some people said, how do they accommodate? No, we don't have a problem with that. If you look at this one, the budget deficit, if you can go up right now, so 1.7. If we go to 2.3, we can go up to maybe to around 400 trillion rupiah, which is more than enough to tackle the, the issue on the ordinary people problem, the purchasing power decline today. The government has planned right now. We are studying this carefully. How do we give the stimulus to the people who need it? But we have to do it targeted, because we don't want this cash transfer go to the wrong recipient. This is, I think, the program of priority program, free nutrition, the 71 trillion, medical checkup, school renovation, development, and others. You can read it here. Development of elite school. We're going to have like 40 special high school around the country, 40 high school. Then we can get like 9,000 creme de la creme young people of Indonesia by 2027, 28. So we have a budget, we have an endowment for this, $10 billion to send overseas to top university globally. So we plan this very well. We can send to US, to some European country, and Singapore also one of our objective, our target. So you can see more, but all STEM. We are not sent to the political science. All STEM, science and technology, engineering, and others. Indonesia will continue to transform our economy by shifting from raw materials to higher value-added industry. I mentioned to you earlier, it used to be only nickel ore, but today nickel ore already built up an ecosystem of nickel ore because we have copper. From copper we extract gold. We get like in Gresik, we get like 50 tons per year. Used to be gone with the wind. We don't know where, but this is, I think, $5 billion only this one, and this, I think, big number we can use for many other things. And at the same time also we have tin and bauxite, you name it. And now seaweed, one of the big pilot project for the government of Indonesia, and we are going to see seaweed can play the much better role compared to nickel ore within 5 years' time. If you look at this, next please. If you look at this export before, this is only the nickel ore, only 1 billion something US dollar or 2 billion. Last year, $34 billion US dollars. And this year, we believe we can go up maybe to around 35 to 36 billion US dollars. So you see the difference. So downstreaming is very important. This is, we have so many critical minerals in Indonesia, and now with the seaweed coming in, I think this magnitude is bigger than nickel ore. So we are doing this one. All the process end up with the battery recycling. We have this industry in Morowali, so we can recycle, we can extract nickel ore, gold, and others from this lithium battery, charging station and others. So that's Indonesia all about in the near future. I think ongoing now, this is not dreams, but ongoing to this direction. Indonesia will continue to reform, increasing its competitiveness by improving its economic efficiency. Yes, we are improved some time ago, but we like to do more, faster, in order to do so. The best way to do it, I advise the President to digitalize. All the data that we have in any ministerial institution in Indonesia have to be digitalized. I give you example. One success story of this is palm oil. Palm oil, without digitalization program, we understand the size around 12 million hectares. Been working the last 2.5 years, and we understand today our palm oil, all digitalized by satellite, by drones, by everything. You cannot hide anymore. We understand the owner, the size, yield, production, others. It's like nearly 18 million hectares. You see the difference. So this source of revenue for the government of Indonesia, ongoing today. And this statement, President Prabowo make it very loud and clear that he wants to see transparency in this kind of program. Now, monitoring evaluation framework for the implementation in technology and Indonesian digitalization, the Indonesian government on 4 pillars. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is the pillar of this. That's end up with the government technology. So we are doing this now, ongoing now. This is not planning. This is already like 60%. I give you example like e-catalog. E-catalog is like Amazon, but this is a government e-catalog. So all the government procurement, we have to buy it through the e-catalog. So this bring efficiency like 40% and create also industry and also some innovation of the people. So we're going to launch the 6th version of the e-catalog by next month. And this could put 85% of the government procurement within the e-catalog. This is, I think, not many people aware, even domestically, I think overseas also they don't understand. They thought in Indonesia like before, you don't need to meet people anymore there. You just go to the machine, you buy through machine. You cannot bribe machine. You cannot bribe the machine. That's what happened in Indonesia today. So time to time, we improve the system. We organize that 400 Indonesian young people to establish this machine. And I learned from the COVID time. We experienced at the time Peduli Lindungi, the apps that manage us to control the movement of the people. And I think around 120 million people joined the Peduli Lindungi. This built and managed by Young Indonesia. So as long as you give the opportunity for them, they can do it. Not only in Singapore, not only anywhere, but as long as the leaders give the good example, the people can follow. That's what I believe. My experience the last 10 years within the government, if you are a government official, you act to serve your people and give a good example, people will respect you. That's very important. When they respect you, anything you do, they can follow. So that's, I think, what happened in Indonesia today, and government technology soon. We're going to launch, President Prabowo preparing this one. All the government, we have like 27,000 apps that we're going to put only one portal in government technology. So you can imagine the size of this. It's not easy. Before, any ministry has their own apps, and that's fun. Today, only one. No more spending for that. Only in here. So this is, I think, the thing that we are doing. So this is run by young people of Indonesia, and we don't hire any consultant for this. Again, our experience during the COVID, lesson learned from the Peduli Lindungi. And ladies and gentlemen, another reform could be seen from the government effort to digitalize service, public service, efficiency government. This is what happened today. Government technology, INA Digital, and also airline. This is the logistic. We learned from this one. We launched 4 years ago in Batam. Used to be our cost in Batam like 25%, in Singapore only 16%. So I said to them, we have to boost. Well, we cannot beat Singapore, but yeah, not very far from Singapore. Today, we are much better than before. And also the OSS, online single submission, we still have some problem here and there, but now we fix this one. I do hope within 6 months, it's going to be much better, especially about the AMDAL at the time, AMDAL, yeah, issue at the time. And ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the National Economic Council, an economic think tank established to accelerate the implementation of strategic things in the government of Indonesia. This is my task. I am the chairman of this, and we give the time to time advice to the president and about what happened here and there. And member of this, only small team, not very much. I think consists of the very prominent person, very expert in their area, and they have a good heart. And I guarantee you, nobody can play with them. We are working based on data, and we prepare also our advice with the very clear data to the president, so nobody can challenge us. If they want to challenge us, they can challenge us, but my experience 10 years within the government, I can tell you that we know exactly what's going to happen, supported by the data. We are not going to make any mistake on this. So this is, I think, there are here some names. I think your Mari Pangestu as president. This is former Minister of Finance, Dede. He is also researcher in Harvard. And also this is Ansori, professor. He's a specialist on the poverty. The best professor, I think, in Indonesia who understands about poverty. This morning we have a Zoom call about how do we tackle about salary in Indonesia, minimum salary. And also this is Seto, my deputy. He's a macroeconomy, and similar with Firman, he's a specialist on data. And we have also one industrial one. This is, his name is Haryanto. He's one of the very successful owner of the industry in Indonesia. And Mari Elka Pangestu, he was Minister of Trade and also Managing Director of World Bank, and also the Minister of Tourism. And he's also professor in Columbia University. And that's all a member of our team. Oh yeah, we have also Verdana. This is this guy. Here. He's Verdana. He has working in the public sector, so we can get input immediately from the ground if something happened with our economy. So basically, this team is very solid and very professional, I should say. I give you my assurance on that. And we give the very straightforward advice to the president, not necessarily publicly, but I can communicate with the president anytime to advise. If something happened, we look at also on the ground could jeopardize the policy of the President of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you very much. I'm ready to respond to any question from all of you.